Listen up. Right now, you've got a choice to make, and it's the kind of choice that can alter everything about the way you live, the way you think, and the future you end up building for yourself. Are you going to sit there, letting the days slip through your fingers, always hoping something good happens while you remain passive? Or are you going to plant your feet on the ground, take a deep breath, and decide that from this moment forward, you're the one in control, you're the one pulling the strings, you're the one deciding what's possible? Too many people lock themselves into an endless loop of monotony, waiting for some perfect condition to arrive, waiting for someone else to wave a magic wand and tell them, "Okay, it's your turn to succeed now." That fantasy? It never becomes real. Nobody's coming with a permission slip to sign off on your success. The harsh reality is you either seize it for yourself or you keep drifting. I want you to brace yourself, because the lessons here aren't gentle suggestions. They're direct challenges to the way you've been operating. If you're reading this, there's a good chance you're already sick of feeling stuck, sick of spinning your wheels, and maybe you don't even know why you keep ending up in the same place, day after day. You want something new? Then you've got to do something new. You want to feel that fire inside you again, the one that makes you leap out of bed in the morning. Then get ready, because what you're about to absorb is going to push you, maybe even anger you a bit, but it will also open your eyes. These aren't soft words meant to stroke your ego. These words are here to break down your walls of excuses and complacency. Only after that can you rebuild a life that's truly your own. The clock's ticking, so let's get right into it. You've heard it said that investing in yourself is crucial, but let me be more blunt. If you're not working on your own mind, your own skills, your own growth, then you are actively falling behind. Life moves, whether you're ready or not. Days turn into weeks, weeks slip into months, and before you realize it, years have evaporated while you've been standing still. That's how people end up in their 30s, 40s, 50s, looking back and asking, "What happened? Why does nothing change?" Because you didn't evolve. You kept putting off self-improvement, thinking you'd do it when you had more time, more money, more support. Let me ask you, how long have you been telling yourself that story? How many months or years have you burned through waiting for that mythical, right moment? Understand one thing. The best time to invest in yourself was yesterday. The second best time is right now. That doesn't just mean checking out an occasional motivational clip or skimming a self-help book. It means putting yourself through the ringer of intentional learning, stepping outside your comfort zone, and honing your abilities daily. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Why? Because a job might pay your bills, but your personal development can reshape the entire trajectory of your life. Growth doesn't only translate into income or career progression, it means freedom, confidence, and a sense of purpose that no static paycheck can match. If you don't commit to growth, you're basically signing up for a life of stagnation, frustration, and endless grumbling about why nothing good ever happens for you. Guess what? The world rewards action, not pity, not excuses. So if you're not going to put in the sweat, accept that you'll stay exactly where you are. No more illusions that some hero's going to come along, see your untapped potential, and magically fix everything for you. That's not reality. Reality is you, standing or sitting there, deciding whether you're worth the effort it takes to transform your situation. Start reading things that broaden your mind, push you to think differently. Start practicing skills that elevate your value to others. And yes, it'll cost you comfort, it'll cost you time you might otherwise spend on mindless entertainment, but what's the cost of doing nothing? The cost is years lost, a life that feels locked on repeat, and a future that's basically a rehash of your past. If you're here because you crave better, because you want more, then act like it. There's only one life with your name on it. Quit waiting, quit hoping, quit stalling. All you have is now. Let's talk about success through personal growth. A lot of people assume success is about luck, or about being born into the right circumstances, or about hustling so hard you practically collapse. But here's a secret that people often ignore. Success is an attraction. It's something you draw to yourself based on who you become. If you remain the same person day after day, refusing to expand your capabilities or shift your mindset, success will stay out of reach. You can't conjure it by wishing. You can't capture it by complaining or blaming. You can't chase it down if you're not prepared internally to handle it. So what does that mean? It means that success is deeply connected to your willingness to transform, to push yourself to become a person of greater depth, skill, and resilience. People who yearn for success without changing themselves are basically chasing an illusion. You might catch a fleeting break, but if you haven't changed at the core, you won't be able to sustain it. You'll sabotage yourself because you're still harboring old habits or old doubts. Real success demands that you grow into someone capable of managing it. That includes emotional maturity, discipline, an adaptive mindset, and a refusal to remain static. Growth isn't a luxury for the lucky few. It's mandatory for anyone who wants to leave a mark. Sure, the process hurts sometimes. It forces you to confront your own flaws and weaknesses. But if you shy away from that discomfort, you'll forever remain on the sidelines, watching others figure out the very things you're too afraid to tackle. If you need a reminder, success doesn't automatically show up as soon as you start trying. It's a cumulative effect of daily decisions. Many will watch others land achievements and mutter, "They're just lucky," never comprehending that it's the direct outcome of those individuals investing in themselves, day in and day out. If you won't do the same, then be prepared to watch your own life stay small. Growth is the path, and without it you're marching backwards, letting time push you into irrelevance. So drop the illusions and get to work. The next concept is the importance of self-mastery. Let's not dance around it. If you cannot govern your own emotions, your impulses, your daily behaviors, you will be at the mercy of the world. You'll be tossed around by every fleeting urge, every knee-jerk reaction, every meaningless distraction. How many brilliant opportunities slip away because people can't manage their anger, or they procrastinate until they miss the boat, or they get distracted by petty drama? Mastering yourself isn't just a fancy phrase, it's a hardcore skill that separates those who build a life on their terms from those who never get out of what-if mode. Real power isn't about dominating others. It's about dominating the chaos inside you. Do you blow up every time you're criticized? Do you cave in the second you face a challenge? Do you binge on social media whenever stress hits? Each of those habits chips away at your potential. Self-mastery is the grueling process of standing firm in your discipline, even when every lazy fiber in your body screams for you to do something easier. It's not random luck that gets you results. This is about daily discipline, about understanding that if you keep losing your cool or keep dodging responsibilities, you are forfeiting your dreams. Plain and simple. Mastery doesn't arrive with a golden ticket or by flipping a switch. It's fought for through every instance you choose to do what's right over what's convenient, every moment you refuse to let excuses define your actions, every time you pick yourself up after failing. Yes, it's a battle, and that's the point. You want a life of substance? You fight for it by conquering your own self-sabotaging tendencies. Because if you can't rule yourself, it doesn't matter how many opportunities come your way. You'll find a way to screw them up. So start practicing. Control how you spend your mornings. Control how you respond to frustration. Control how you direct your energy. If you can't control these small details, you'll never handle the bigger challenges that come with real success. Now, there's a big piece of advice. Never tell people what you do. That might sound counterintuitive because we live in a world obsessed with oversharing. If you're not constantly broadcasting your moves, it's like you don't exist. But that's a trap. The minute you blab about your projects, your goals, your ambitions, you open the door for others to inject negativity, cynicism, and doubt into your vision. They'll weigh in, they'll question you, they'll proclaim you're aiming too high. Even if you're strong-willed, repeated negativity can seep into your subconscious. And before you know it, you start half believing them. Keep your mouth shut and let your work speak for itself. Results are impossible to argue with. People love to label you, to put you in a neat little box that makes sense to them. The more you talk about your plans, the more they think they have you figured out. They think they're entitled to pass judgment or helpful advice that kills your momentum. So, do yourself a favor. Stop oversharing. Don't ask for applause every time you take a baby step. Don't fish for encouragement from people who don't truly believe in your path. Pour that energy into the action itself. When you finally hit the milestones you're aiming for, your results will be loud enough to drown out any critic or skeptic. By then, your accomplishments will say everything that needs to be said. Reclaiming your power is another element that's crucial. You might not realize it, but every time you let other people's views, your own doubts, or external circumstances dictate your decisions, you're handing away a chunk of your autonomy. That's how you end up meandering through life, never quite steering your own course. If you continue living that way, you'll reach the end of your journey full of regrets, wishing you had been braver, wishing you had seized those pivotal chances. That's no way to live. Reclaiming your power means you refuse to let fear of judgment stop you. It means you decide to move forward even when no one is cheering you on, even when people are actively telling you you're making a mistake. People might call that selfish or reckless, but it's far better than living in a perpetual state of second-guessing. The world is filled with folks who never took the reins of their own life, and you can see the sorrow in their eyes. They gave their power away, little by little, until there was nothing left. Don't be that person. Decide what you want, set your sights on it, and move. The moment you do, you realize most of the limitations were illusions you let yourself believe. Now, if you're still looking for a sign to do that, consider this your sign. Let's talk about samples of success with privacy. The notion that you need to constantly advertise your every success or plan is flawed. The truth is, you gain more respect and more genuine results when you concentrate on the work in silence and let the final product make the statement. Modern culture almost encourages us to spill every detail, but all that does is invite people to weigh in prematurely. They poke holes in your idea, deflate your enthusiasm, or label you with a job title or skill set they understand, never realizing how big your vision really is. Keep your achievements and your progress hush-hush until they're undeniable. Let people see your consistent wins, not your blueprint for how you plan to get there. Living authentically should also be non-negotiable. If you're running around trying to meet everyone's expectations, you're not living your life. You're a puppet dancing to someone else's tune. The stress, the sense of emptiness, the never-ending feeling that something is off. That's what happens when you hide your true desires and conform just because it's safer. Being real is scary because it means risking rejection, risking that some people won't like what they see. But guess what? The cost of faking it is even worse. You lose yourself in the process. Real authenticity means you stand firm in who you are, in your values, in your uniqueness. That's how you avoid the slow, soul-killing death of trying to be everything to everyone. Inspiring others by example is also pivotal. Talk is cheap, no matter how eloquent or motivational you think you sound. You can post quotes, you can sermonize about discipline, but if your own habits are sloppy, if your own life is riddled with inconsistency, nobody is going to take you seriously. The best form of leadership, the best form of inspiration, is to embody the principles you claim to value. You want to show people what discipline looks like? Then get up before dawn and start building something. You want to display resilience? Keep going after that business flops or that pitch is rejected. People follow the example of what you do, not the promises you make or the grand speeches you recite. And let's not sugarcoat the role of adversity here. If you think life is a smooth highway where you can set the cruise control to success, you're dreaming. Challenges appear, sometimes out of nowhere, to test your commitment. The difference between those who sail ahead and those who crumble lies in how they handle those obstacles. Some will see a hurdle and say, "This is too tough, guess I should quit," while others think, "Awesome, I get to learn a new skill or a new strategy to handle this." If you run from every problem, you'll never taste real accomplishment. If you embrace the struggle, you'll grow in ways that might shock even you. Finally, there's the concept of taking control of your life. That might sound obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people live as though they're passengers on a bus going who knows where. They let others decide how they spend their time, how they measure their worth, how they define success. So let me ask, who's steering your bus? Is it you, or is it your boss, your parents, your friends, or your phone notifications, or your fear of what society might say? If it's anyone but you, you're living a fraction of the life you could be living. That's a tragedy. You have a finite number of days. If you refuse to be the one setting the route, you'll discover you ended up in a place you never wanted to be. Taking control means deciding what you truly want, clearing away distractions, and refusing to let external voices or random life events toss you around. Yes, it requires constant effort. Yes, you'll sometimes fail or lose direction, but at least you'll be failing forward on your own terms, not wandering aimlessly because you never took the wheel. And that brings us to the big final piece. You have to act. Nothing changes until you start moving. All the pep talks, all the books, all the hype videos, none of it matters a bit if you remain idle. If you read about these principles and think, that's inspiring, and then immediately revert to your old habits, you're essentially telling yourself you're not serious. The world doesn't care how motivated you felt for 5 minutes. It cares about what you do consistently, day after day, especially when nobody's watching and you're tired or stressed. So if you want this to be more than another fleeting moment of, yeah, maybe I'll do something, then pick a step, any step, and commit to it right now. Whether it's reading for half an hour each day to expand your knowledge, signing up for that course you've been dithering about, or launching that side project you've only talked about, whatever it is, do it. Not tomorrow, not next week, but now. That's the difference between dreamers and doers. We can talk about discipline, mindset, self-mastery, and environment all day long. But ultimately, it comes down to the actions you take once you close your browser or put down your phone. Will you push yourself to keep evolving when your motivation dips? Will you hold yourself accountable when you're tempted to take the easy route? Will you stand firm in your authenticity when friends or family cast doubt on your goals? These are the real tests. And guess what? You either pass them or you don't. There's no middle ground. If you fail them, you can still learn. You can pick yourself up and try again. But you can't keep failing indefinitely or keep ignoring the lessons if you want progress. At some point, you have to show yourself that you're done repeating the same cycles. That's when momentum builds, and each small victory feeds your belief that you really can craft a different reality for yourself. In the end, the question is painfully simple. Are you going to keep living on autopilot, coasting through each day with minimal intention, or are you ready to own your future with both hands? The difference isn't found in any magic formula or secret sauce. It's found in you making a personal vow to quit waiting, quit blaming, quit searching for the perfect time, and just start. This is your life. No more dress rehearsals. You only get one shot at it, so why wouldn't you aim to make it extraordinary? Remember, life won't hold your hand. It won't coddle you. Time keeps ticking, indifferent to your procrastination. If you want better, you become better. If you want to remain locked in the same place, keep doing exactly what you're doing now. But if you're hungry, if you feel that spark in your chest that says, I can be more, I can do more, then do it. Turn that spark into a raging fire. Destroy the excuses. Master yourself. Stop looking for approval or a green light from someone else. You're the only one who can grant yourself that permission. Seize it, use it, and prove to yourself that you have the discipline, the grit, and the willpower to realize every inch of your potential. Because if you don't, you'll forever wonder what might have been, and that, my friend, is a regret not worth carrying.